Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to bring to you my TBR for February. Now, I always have a lot of books on my list that I'm trying to read, but will I read all of them? A lot of times I actually do get pretty close now that I think about it, but I might switch the books out only because I am a mood reader. So sometimes I'm like, I really want to read these books. And then when the moment arrives to read it, I don't feel like reading it. So it could be the same amount of books, but it might just be different ones. A few of them, not all of them. But yes, I like to have a TBR reports just to make sure I'm staying on track with my reading goals and keeping track of books that I want to read. So this is my stack of books that I have that I picked. Now, I do have a few that I still don't have yet, like some from one of them I have borrowed from a friend, but I left it at work accidentally. And then I have another one that I need to get, and then one that's on my Kindle already. So yeah, but the rest of them are all physical books that I have. And this month, I have like a lot of like breakdowns of categories because I'm now part of two book clubs, my own that I have with my friends, one for my work, and yeah, so I have just a lot of different things I'm involved in. So let's get started. So at first for February, I was like, I'm gonna read just romance because Valentine's Day, the month of love. I'm gonna read that. And then I was like, I'm gonna read a few romances, but actually, I need I need something else. But first, I need to read are my library books. So I have three library books that I need to read so I can return them. Um, Last month into this month, so mainly read in this month, I started the King of Sin series by Anna Huang because I just went like a little like light fluffy book to end the year with, and then I read a few chapters and didn't come back to it until actually the new year. So I read the first book, and I don't know. I just didn't feel like buying the rest of them because I did buy the first one, but I just decided to buy the not buy them, but to actually like get them from the library. So yeah, I don't know. I might try to sell that book because having incomplete series on your shelf is kind of annoying. But I don't know. I just don't really want to buy the rest of them. But I did enjoy the first book, so I got the next two. Hopefully they're good. Just simple reads. King of Greed and King of Pride are the next two in the series that were at my library. So I will read these. So these will hit my romance heavy category, just fluff. That's what I plan to read. And then the last library book, because the thing about a library, I don't know if your library is like this, but when I want to read a book and I go to the library for the physical copy, it's not there. It's really annoying. Like it's checked out. Probably because people are like me taking forever to return it. But of course, like the books I choose must just be the most popular books because everyone has them checked out and the waiting list is long. So I wanted to read this book, but I didn't plan to read it so soon. But since I was at the library, I decided to pick it up. It's called A Crane Among Wolves, and it's a YA book. So yeah, it was there. So I was like, you know what, let me pick it up. It is on my list I've been wanting to read, so I plan to read this book in February. So that way I can just return all my library books. So yeah, those are the three that are from the library. Now, another book that's been on my list forever to read, and I'm like, I meant to read this month, but no, for real, February, I'm going to read it. Okay, is Before I Let Go. So I plan to read this next month. Um, yeah, this will also be in the romance category. So I would do, like I said, I have a few books that are romance heavy. But yeah, I've been meaning to read this forever, and I heard it's so good. And yeah, I'm like, I've got to read this book in February. Okay, so I will be reading that. Now I'm gonna get into a few of the books that I don't have like physically with me right now, but I've been meaning to read a nice little cozy read. Well, let me take that back. I don't. It's giving cozy because it has like bookshop in the title. I could be way off base, but it's the Hyeonam Dong Bookshop, or it's called like Welcome to the Hyeonam Dong Bookshop. And yeah, I've been wanting to read that. I felt like it was great for the winter time, and so I'm like, I need to move this up on the list of priorities. So I did get that on my Kindle, so I do plan to read that in the month of February as well. And I really, yeah, I hope it will give me cozy vibes since it's like about a bookshop. So we'll see. But yeah, and then the other book that I've yet to get, but I will be getting soon, is part of my book club, and we all voted and we chose a thriller, which is good because I feel like I needed something from all the like fantasy books I've been reading to break things up. So I'm happy to be reading a thriller, and that is The Passengers by John Marr. So I will be reading that. I haven't decided if I'm gonna get my Kindle or a physical copy. I read all those books in the fall, the one, which was so good on my Kindle. So I'm like, I should just go ahead and get it on my Kindle. I think I don't need to buy another copy. Like, I need to stop buying books, but I just love having physical books. So that's what I plan to read in February for my book club. And then I do have the physical copy of this because I borrowed it from my coworker, but I left it at work. It's called In 5 Years. So I do want to read like more shorter stories this year, not always so long. And this book is pretty short, and she said it was really good. Or I think she was like it was better than she thought it was going to be. So I'm curious. I don't know like how I'm going to feel about it, but it's called In 5 Years, so I'm going to check it out. And I really hope to read it because I want to return that to her. But and it's not that long. I think it's under 300 pages, so I should be able to finish that this month. Now, the other book for my book club is called The 13th Child. So I must read this, of course, in February. This is a fantasy book. Now, I subscribed to Book of the Month in the end of the last year, and this was the book for December. So I'm like, perfect timing because I really need to read this book because I'm already going to be 3 behind with my Book of the Month selections. That's how I see it as because I'm like, once I get this book each month, I want to read it that month, but I already have not read the December pick that I picked. But now I will because this is the one that I put in the ring to be picked and everyone voted on it. So I can't wait to read this fantasy book next month. And speaking of the book of the month, like I said, I also had a pick for January, which I still haven't read, and I'm like, I have to read it this month. And I've been hearing people talk about it. I believe it just came out in January too. It's called The Favorites. And yeah, I picked this one because it seemed very intriguing. Like ice, I think it's like ice skating and their rivals and things like that. Like a contemporary fiction, maybe even romance, considered romance actually. So I actually do have a lot of romance books now that I'm thinking about this. But yeah, I've started to hear people talk about it, so I'm like, yeah, I need to read this ASAP. So I really want to read this next month as well. And then the final book that I plan to read in February, I'm literally in the middle of Iron Flame. Like I will finish it this week, so it will be counted for my January reads. So I must finish with the third book that just came out. Okay, yeah, I finally read Fourth Wing, this month in January, and also Iron Flame. Like I said, I'm in the middle of. I want to finish, so naturally I have to read the third book. Keep going because I already know they're gonna leave a cliffhanger. So I have to read this in February. Now, the thing about it that makes me upset, which is also another reason why I didn't start this book for so long, because I'm tired of being in the middle of series and waiting years for these books to come out. And yeah, that's basically what it is because I just heard we don't know when the next one will come out, and I believe it's like 5 in the series. So that's upsetting because I just know this is going to end on a cliffhanger, and I am going to wait for I don't know how long for the next one, and then there'll be another I have to wait for. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I managed to get the Target special edition. I really didn't care about getting a special edition, to be honest. I have the regular editions for the first two, but my husband really got in the series as well, so he wanted to get this one. He liked how it was, and I mean, it's really nice though. I like the sprayed edges and how it looks and everything. So yeah, I'm excited to read this once I finish with Iron Flame in a couple of days. Yeah, so that is all the books that I plan to read in February. Like I said, who knows if I will get through all of them. I really do try to, but like I said, since I'm a movie reader, I will sometimes just be a little bit off of my plan for the month, which you will find in when I post my next one, which is what I read in January. You'll see which ones I ended up not reading in January, and yeah, and what was on my list and what was didn't make the cut. But I still read a good amount and to start the year off, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video, and let me know in the comments what is on your February TBR.